Tuesday, what's up Wednesday? How's it going Thursday? From Friday and Saturday and Sunday, it's a weekend update.
What's up, guys? This is Walk and Produce. My name is Tiirous.
I'm Treasa.
I'm Joe.
And this is Mora.
And this is our May recap. How's it going, guys?
I think it's going pretty good. I feel like I had a somewhat successful day. I went grocery shopping, at least.
I'm so jealous that you went grocery shopping. I haven't been able to see the inside of a grocery store in several months. I actually had my brother FaceTime me just so I could have the lovely idea of what a grocery store looks like.
You're not missing out on anything. I go to one every day.
Really?
There's no new changes to the aisles.
I mean, I would never know. You know what I mean, though? Like, I wouldn't know. There could be a whole different world out there. There could be flying cars, and I wouldn't know because they don't leave my house.
Actually, big
Trust
update.
me, nothing changed.
No, they now put the cereal next to the milk.
They put the cereal next to the milk?
Yeah.
Revolutionary.
The old 1-2 combo.
Yep.
We're growing as a society.
I feel like
this evolution.
I feel like you missed the key part to our human evolution.
Is that a failure on milk or on cereal?
Ooh, good question. I don't know.
One of them are not being sought out.
What, either the milk or the...
Yeah, I mean...
Well, I mean...
They're always on like
you
total
can eat dry
opposites.
cereal, but why would you just drink milk? I don't know. I don't really drink milk, so...
Milk is always in the corner and cereal like aisle number 5.
Well, we bought a lot of groceries today for actual recipes, and all of those recipes require some version of milk, and we did not buy milk. So I guess you kind of need milk sometimes.
You said actual recipes?
Well, you know,
as
opposed to not using a recipe and just making something from my brain.
Or like...
Oh, got you.
Just offhand. I'm not really too much into like boxed frozen food nowadays, but I make a lot of wing it with a lot of random stuff.
Now that we're done with the importance of milk and the closeness to cereal, that is the newfound closeness to cereal. What have you guys been up to creatively, work-wise, socially throughout May?
Treasa made a music video.
Yeah, Treasa made a music video.
For Tiirous. I think we should probably add in that it's for him, but...
I like the Treasa made a music video bit. I like it a lot.
Right? I mean, Tiirous always has music videos. Treasa actually made one, though, so that's really cool.
Like from scratch. Like scratch. How did that feel, Treasa?
Yeah, no recipe included. It was good. I mean, I'm extremely shocked that I'm actually happy with it. Like, for once, like, normally I make a project and there's like a million things I could pick apart about it that I feel like didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to. But this is one of those projects that I didn't have the highest expectations. And I am thrilled by what came of it. So yeah, I'm pretty happy. How about you guys? What have you been up to?
Other than the 7 o'clock bells and everything else that's going off in the background right now, just a lot of work, a lot of working to build to make sure I can have projects soon in the future. And
I know Mora finished her 60-day challenge right before I did, and she actually made it the entire 60 days. So how did that feel?
Relieving. It felt great to finally reach that 60th day, not having to actually create a video, but I went live. That turned out really nice. And now I sort of feel like I'm in this in-between. and I feel like, man, I'm missing every day of posting. And then I kind of like realized that it was almost, I don't know. I feel like it was a lot of fun and everything, but too much stress to post every day for the things that I want to post. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like a lot of the time I was sort of just making filler, but it really helped me hone my editing skills. I can get a project done really quickly. Like, I already have next week's video done and the following week's video done. So that really helped. It kind of feels like something that I can just put a small amount of time to, and then I have the rest of the day to do other things. It helped a lot with my skill level, so that was cool.
That's awesome.
Trace, I know you were following behind Mora, so to speak, or literally How was your experience with the 60-day challenge?
I feel somewhat similar in that I did learn a lot, and I also felt like I was just creating filler a lot. So that's why I stopped. Like, I didn't want to stop. I wanted to keep going every single day for the foreseeable future. But then I took a moment and was like, but what am I creating? Like, there should be purpose. And therefore, I do want to do another 60-day challenge. But I think I needed to take this time, like a couple weeks, and just figure out like where I'm at and like what I'm going to put out there, and like put a little more effort into my edits just so that it is more thoughtful and it's every video has more of a purpose.
So are you saying that the next time you would do more is pre-planning and having content ahead of time?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. And this is something Mora said to do from the very beginning, but I was pretty against it because I wanted to do mainly live streams. Yeah, she always was pre-planning them and told me to pre-plan them and edit them ahead of time, but I was just like, no, I'm going to do live. So I'm not doing that. But then as it got into the 60 days, I learned like it's super draining for me to do lives every single day. Like, honestly, I give people that do live streams so much props because to put yourself out there every single day, some people do it for like 6 hours at a time. Like,
Wow.
it's way too much for me. Like, it's just putting on like a smile kind of like for such a long period of time. I don't even do that long of live streams, but sometimes you just wake up and you just don't want to be in front of an audience.
Did you feel the same way, Mora?
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, on my one live, yeah, I felt really awkward on the one time I ever went live. Yeah, I don't think that I'd really be able to do it again unless I'm doing something that is continuous, sort of like I was talking to my sister-in-law about doing it's called Twitch Sings or whatever, and you go on and it's essentially like karaoke or whatever, and you're just singing live and people do requests and all that stuff. I feel like I could do that for like a set, which is like 8 songs, which is like 40 minutes. But my live the other day went for 2 hours, and it was cool. It was like social most of the time, but it's just also awkward because like you just like you constantly have to put on a face. Like, I don't know, it just felt like a lot, felt really draining. But like my sister-in-law, she Amaya Lovely, she's on Twitch and she will stream. She just did a 12-hour stream, and
wow.
then there are 24-hour charity streams. 24 hours, like that's wild. Where like people do it because I guess they take the proceeds or something that they get from streaming for 24 hours and then whatever.
Right.
But just it's like, I don't even understand how that is even like possible to sit on a camera conversing for 24 hours. That's so much. But respect, like full respect for them, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. I think also part of the reason that those particular streams, like the one that you did, was like you're saying, like very draining. When I go live, I do talk like to the camera or the audience or whatever, and like I read their like what they say and stuff. But for the most part, I'm doing my own thing. And sometimes I'm just like, yeah, so I can't read your comments. So I'm just going to keep doing me and I'm going to keep talking and I don't really care. And I'm very like honest like that. And I just do whatever the heck I want to do. And I think that's the only way that it's like doable for me to like make so many. Cause I think I went live over at least 14 times, at least, maybe a lot more. So yeah, that's the only way. I would never be able to do it the way you did it, where like you literally were then like you're kind of at the will of the comments. And that's a lot.
Let's flip the switch on Joe for a second.
I'm gonna say the same thing.
Joe, what have you been up to? I know you said you just started a podcast. Was it a Survivor Series podcast?
Yeah. I just started a Survivor podcast where I'm going through and reviewing each season of Survivor with 2 to 3 different guests each season, bringing different people in to review each season. So I got that going for me. I'm going to record the entire first season, knock that out, and start the second season for me to start releasing things. But we just did the first prequel episode, like pre-show. We did that today, so knocked that out. And yeah, and then I'm working on a few other projects that are still not ready yet, but hopefully more to come soon.
How did the first episode go, in your opinion?
I'm hypercritical of myself, so I'm sure it was fine. I have no. I think I accomplished everything I kind of wanted to accomplish. And I'll just see when I go back and try to edit it and figure out exactly how I want it to all come together. But it went okay.
I know you said that you're going to record the first season and then you'll start releasing things. Any idea on the time frame of that?
Well, I mean, it's going to be, I guess we have to record, we're going to be doing 3 episodes each week. So probably anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks, it'll start coming out. But I want to give myself a buffer.
Yeah.
No, what was your question?
Well, so for the podcast, are you going to be doing each episode in the season or just an overall?
So we're doing through each podcast episode, we'll be focusing on 3 episodes of the season.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So each season has around between 15 to 16 episodes. So whatever, we'll cover all those episodes in 5 podcast episodes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And depending on scheduling and stuff, that kind of depends on when I'm able to start releasing things is when we finish. But I'm not really in any rush. Just gonna work on it, start editing stuff, start getting it together and figure it out from there.
I'm in a rush to watch the first 3 episodes of season 1.
She's a Survivor, like, binge watcher. Her and Joe literally, I've heard them watch like a season a day. Like, what's going on?
That's going to probably be the hardest part of doing this podcast because I am on like the first season of his podcast and it's so hard to just stop. Like we're going to have to watch 3 episodes and then stop and not watch 3 episodes until we record the podcast. I'm going to be calling the other people that are part of the podcast and be like, did you watch me yet? We need to do this. We need to do this now. We need it like a crackhead. Like we need to record the podcast so I can watch the next 3 episodes.
Addicted to the Survivor.
If it was up to me and Joe, we'd record all like 6 episodes within like 4 days.
Yeah, since we like 3 episodes is like, oh, that's a light night of Survivor.
Right. Because once you get to, so we actually, because we've binged like probably 5 seasons of Survivor during this pandemic.
I think it's like 7 almost now.
Yeah. So, okay. So we've binged quite a few in the last couple months and what is it called? I feel like it's fine. Like we can control ourselves until we get like to the merge and then like it gets close to the season finale. And then it's like, no, we got to watch them all at once. And the problem is the finale is like 2 hours long. And then there's an after show. So once you get close to the finale, you're in it. Like you have to spend at least 4 to 3 hours watching it, if not more.
Well, I think the last episode's an hour and a half and the finale is a half an hour.
Oh,
so it's only 2 hours. It's only 2 hours, but we never get to we always watch a few episodes before the finale.
Usually, yeah. So it's usually like a 5-hour like viewing night.
Yeah.
Like,
I've never in my entire life felt so passionate about anything. Compared to how passionate you guys are about Survivor.
Honestly, we just seen season 31 and honestly I'm on a little like I feel like I don't need to watch Survivor for a minute because it was such a good season and I feel like this like the now going back to season 1 I'm hoping it's going to be awesome but I'm a little nervous that's going to let me down because season 31 if you're going to watch any season of Survivor I've only seen from 26 to 31 right now.
I think it would hurt to watch season 31 since it's all returning players.
Yes, it would hurt. I think it might hurt. Such a good season.
It's a great season, but I think it really helped that a lot of those people you already knew.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of able to fill you in on the people you didn't know.
True. I knew the majority of them, like more than half of them. If you start at season 26, you'll know like the majority. Oh, also we randomly watched one. We watched China, which happened to have someone in it from China.
Yep. PG from China.
Yeah, so we actually watched China. So we watched 26 to 31 and China. So.
Okay, you guys need to stop.
Yeah, right. Wait. Yeah, cut them off before they continue.
And that's just what we watched in the last couple months. I've seen almost all the seasons.
This is our version of productivity, is it not?
Wait, so you guys have watched 7 seasons during the COVID-19 2-month period?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
we
I think
started
so.
watching it like right when this happened.
Wow.
Yeah, I think so. Right around like end of
March.
February, March.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how much episodes do you guys think a season has, by the way?
15.
Wow.
How long are
On-
the episodes?
45
So 15. So yeah, about 45 minutes an episode, depending.
15
Some episodes are an hour and a half. They're
times
double
7
episodes.
equals
But
times
the finale is always 30 minutes.
10 divided by
Why is the
60.
finale shorter?
No, that's the after show.
Wow.
Because Survivor does
Oh.
that. Have you ever seen like one clip of like any bit of Survivor? Because it has this amazing thing where they do the votes at the end, and then the host, he takes the votes, and then he's like, "And I'll see you in LA." And then he takes the votes, and he gets in a helicopter or a boat, whatever, and then he goes to LA, and then he has the votes, and then they find out who the winner is.
Yeah, they do it at live reveal.
So
like 6 months
the
later.
cast has to live their life, watch the whole season, and then go to LA and find out if they won the $1 million.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So
So fun.
I can't handle that.
Go
I
watch
get-
Joe's podcast or listen.
Right. Right.
I feel like the first episode was so good. We were just sacrificing people left and right.
No, Tiirous was sacrificing people. So Tiirous was also on season 1 of Joe's podcast. And he was like, no, they're not making it. They're not. And Joe's like, I think everyone's eliminated.
Yeah, I think we had 5 people make it to the merge, which might be one of the smallest merges I've ever seen, ever heard.
But it's based on nothing but literally just my looking at them, judging a book by its cover.
Tiirous is losing his mic. I look over and his mic is just sliding off the table.
I'm glad you guys are laughing at me.
What is he doing?
He
What are you
wasn't
doing?
touching it. It just all of a sudden was like going downhill. But maybe we should get back on the topic of productivity. Mora, do you have anything that you're super excited about that happened in May? Or is this too loud? Should we wait until Rosie's thing? Joe's laughing.
What?
I said, is this too loud? Should we wait until Tiirous puts his mic back?
It's a bit
All right, I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Mora, is there anything in May that you did that you're super proud of besides the 60-day challenge or that you're excited about?
Well, actually, yes. There's a movie that our lovely Monday's part of, Treasa. And I've got another friend, Selena's, who's part of it as well. And it is essentially a social distancing rom-com. I'm still having trouble writing it, mainly because I'm not funny, but I'm trying to be. And so that's something that's been in development for the last couple of weeks and everything. And I was actually editing the directing video for that. Like, I don't know, I recorded the directing sessions and everything like that. And so it's just, I don't know, it's really excited. Like, wow, it's really, really exciting. and that's all I really can say, mainly because we have to do a rewrite for everything. And so merging the characters and stuff has been a lot of fun, but it's sort of, it's almost like forcing me to make it a much more in-depth story, which in like the best way, it's just a lot more developing that needs to happen and everything. So I've been doing a lot of research and I don't know, I think I've got like a solid ground on like the way that I think it will be filmed and everything. It's just a much bigger project than it started out as. But that's the biggest thing that I'm excited about that happened in May. And I'm grateful to have the girls who are down for the cause, you know, and down to make this movie happen and everything. I don't know, it feels really good to have a big project again like this.
Definitely.
Nice.
Can I just throw something in there? You said that you're not funny, and so it's hard to write the jokes, or not the jokes, but the screenplay. Just a little unsolicited advice. Try to write an unfunny script and as your first draft. Don't get hung up on whether each line is funny. And I'm only saying this because I've heard, other people say it a million times, but just write a draft, get it all out there, know the scenes, and then I'm sure we'll come together. Don't get hung up on would she say this or would she say that?
I definitely agree. Don't try to make it funny. It doesn't need to be funny in the first draft.
Yeah.
Well, I just I think you guys got a good point, and I just think it's funny because it's like it's gonna be unfunny. So now I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna make this the least funny thing, and maybe that'll be.
Yeah.
Honestly, it could
Really,
be.
that
It really
actually
could be.
work.
It
That
really
could
could be.
work.
Right?
But yeah.
But honestly, when you make it unfunny, I have no experience writing scripts or anything. But I think when you make it unfunny and then you revise it, you'd be like, oh, this part, there could be some comedy in this part. And then you'd edit that part and it'll be much clearer to you in that sense. Like you just go part by part and figure out, okay, do I want something funny here? How about we switch this into that? And that way, like you already have the original, you're just doing little edits.
Yeah. I think I got it. Yeah. I gotta do it. It's just it's one of those things.
I'm super excited.
Me too. I think it's gonna be great, especially with you girls and everything. Just because I feel like just reading it and sort of getting in the vibe and getting in the characters I feel like it'll just happen naturally because our what the thing that me and the girls were doing was essentially sending each other the videos of our characters and stuff, and we'd find ourselves laughing and having a good time just by sending the videos. So I feel like if we have that dynamic just like messing around, then I feel like when we're actually filming and everything, it'll all sort of come together. So
For sure. I agree. What about you, Tyrus? What have you been doing this past month? Anything?
Released a music video thanks to Treasa, which is Monday on the Walking Produce Instagram page. Did a Haitian song, which is my first Haitian song that I'm just speaking about such a real content, which is so dope. My mom watched it. She loved it. She called me, like she's in Haiti right now due to the COVID thing, but she called me and she's ecstatic. She's like, oh my God, I can't wait. We should write one together. So that was very exciting. Also, I've been writing a music project with one of these Miami artists. He's very prominent. It seems like we're one of the best duos ever. Not, Dre's gonna hear this, which is this other rapper that I collab with, and he's gonna feel some type of way. But this project is
scandalous.
But
it's just different. It's not that it's better.
different.
It's totally different.
Yeah, it's more me singing than rapping. It's an 8-song project. We literally in under a month have made 4 songs. Completely 4 songs, like mixed, edited, mastered, beats bought, everything. It's just moving so well, even though, we should be inside quarantine, but I'm essential, so I guess I don't have to quarantine.
Okay, that does not mean that you do not have to quarantine. This is an issue that I feel like has been a thing, that you feel like essential people just get to do whatever they want. That is not true.
I think it should be clarified, though. He's making it sound worse than it is, even though I'm not saying that what he does is right at all. But I believe this other artist may actually work in the same place as him. So in that case, you already see him all the time anyways.
Yeah, but not to make it lighter than what it is. It's just I wanted to push Joe's button on that one because I know every time on Instagram, he literally, like, if we're talking on the phone, like me and Treasa and Joe just happens to see one of my posts, he automatically corrects me like, you're not quarantining.
No, but
Well,
that's
you can't
because
tag yourself quarantine life.
because you're like, it's so hard. I'm quarantined, and you're not.
You can't say quarantine life hashtag while you're like surrounded by 6 random people that don't live in your house or you're some party.
Okay.
That's not quarantine life.
It's quarantine life once I get home. It's part-time quarantine house. It's like,
okay, so it's quarantine or no quarantine. That's like saying, are you just quarantined when you go to bed? Like,
yeah,
that's quarantine.
That's basically it.
He normally sleeps on the street. I think that should be clarified. So it's been really hard for him because he likes to sleep on the sidewalk outside of the house.
That's it. So I'm going inside to sleep now, so it's quarantine.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot of issues there. A lot of issues.
I would like to bring it back to the music thing because the other day when I was in Houston, I got to hear some of these songs from this collaboration. I did, right? I heard some of them.
You had like 3 of them.
I am so excited for this music. I have to say, I'm so excited for this music. Yes, of course, I'm like a little bit biased, but I've heard like his music from the beginning to, you know, his more recent collaborations and some of his just more recent music that he's made, even just for me, that like the public hasn't seen. And I am so excited for this collaboration. Like, honestly, I cannot wait for people to hear these songs. They are so good.
So good, guys. Mora, I can't wait till you guys hear it. Mora, Joe. I don't know what type of song music you're into, Joe, but just so well done.
It is interesting because the context of the music has not completely changed from like the last collaboration he did, which was, and even some of his like music that he's made on his own, which tends to be a bit more sexual, I would say, than like is comfortable for moi, because you know, it's kind of awkward. But it's not like that much less sexual. Like some of the songs are very like like what is happening? But the way the music sounds is so good that it's okay.
So this is me going on record saying that I get a pass for these music. But the whole project was based around loving or women in all different aspects. So there's a I love you song, there's a I need you song, there's a I hate you song, there's a women turning up song, there's a you're independent doing your own thing song. And so like it's just very dynamic. And the way that I found this new flows, let's put it like as flows, it just sounds very appealing. Like I can't show you guys, but one day I'm gonna play a song for you guys. When it releases, you guys are gonna hear it.
We can't do a teaser probably because it's a collab.
Yeah, and it's like very official, a little bit more official than I'd like, but very official. Beats are bought, project ideas are thrown around. We've deleted like 3-4 songs just because we didn't think it was up to par to the subject of the woman. So May has been great, everything except the quarantine, but so tough on me.
I am so interested here.
Me too. What are you talking about?
I'm not exactly sure, but it sounds great.
Hashtag
Sounds
quarantine
like
life.
a good idea.
Hashtag quarantine life.
I actually
you should
am
just
really
call it that.
excited because I feel like all of us have projects in the works right now.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for everything that's to come. I think there's going to be a lot by the end of the summer that's, you know, that we're all coming out with. And it's going to be really good stuff.
I'm excited.
Me too.
While we're on the subject of me quarantining, what have
Are we?
As he's not quarantining.
so
As he's in New York. As he's in New York.
Yes,
So-
exactly. Where do you live again?
stop jumping me, guys. So
You brought it up. I don't.
how have you guys been affected either personally, work-wise, or family-wise, or even social interactions due to this COVID thing? Because I've been affected.
Okay, you have not been affected.
No,
Well,
Let's
he
get
has.
over it.
Wait.
No, he has been.
Not
He
me
has
personally.
been personally affected because he's a mama's boy. And if his mom is
Wow.
listening to this, he loves you and misses you very much.
Oh man, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I may be a mama's boy. I'll miss the hell out of my mom. She's been in Haiti for like 2 months, but
I think a little longer.
yeah, a little
Maybe
longer.
almost 3.
And she's coming in July. That's the hope. That's the earliest they'll open anything back up. But even on a more personal, somewhat more personal, because the person has no choice. My little sister is self-quarantined and her immune system is compromised. So literally she has not seen... Yesterday was the first time she's seen, like, she stepped out of the place where she was quarantining at. And honestly, don't let her hear this podcast, but I kind of miss her in the house.
He's actually, when he's saying he's quarantined and he's suffering, it's because Carla and his mom are the only people he cares about in life, and he can't be around them. Carla's like, stay in the other room if you come to the store. I cannot see you.
Yeah.
And don't touch my stuff.
Can't even hug her if I
But in the
wanted to.
nicest way.
In the nicest way. So, Joe, I'm hurting kind of.
Joe, are you missing your mom that much?
You're on a recording, Joe.
Well, I mean, it wouldn't have changed anything for me. I mean, I wasn't going home anytime soon. Anyways, Anyways, I mean, for quarantine, I mean, socially, obviously, I think everyone's kind of affected on that, like, front. It's just everything's closed. I mean, it's very hard to do anything nowadays at the moment.
Yeah, especially in New York.
I mean, for me, it really hasn't. I mean, my life has definitely been affected, but it's not in the way of like Treasa, who barely even leaves the house due to the fact that she really doesn't have to work at the moment, and then there's nowhere really to go. I still have to go work 40 hours a week all the way on the other side of the city, so I'm constantly out and about.
True. For me, like it's such a like catch-22 because I haven't worked in such a long time. I did just go to Houston on a trip. But it was for, I was away for less than 3 days. And actually, no, at the end, I sneakily went to Fort Lauderdale for a day. But so I was gone for 4 days out of New York and out of the past almost 3 months now. And I'm not going to work again until the end of June, which before this happened, I never wanted to work. Like I was always like trying to do everything I could to get out of work and then just like travel for fun. But it's not fun right now because I feel like I can't travel for fun because most of my friends can't do anything right now. And like my friends that are in New York for whatever reason, like I can't seem to like make it work to meet up with them. Even now, as things have been lifted, it's still a struggle to meet up with people. And some people like, for the longest time, it just wasn't safe to meet up with anyone. Especially because, I have been on call for a while. So if I did go to the airport for whatever reason, like people don't want to meet up with you. They think you're a liability, which makes sense. I'm not trying to like get anyone sick. But yeah, it can be a bit lonely. FaceTime is my only friend.
How about you, Mora?
Well, I mean, I think I'm sort of glued to this desk in an attempt to reach the outside world. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it's affected me the same way that it affected me a month ago, in the sense that I haven't left. I think that the mental health has really taken a hit. I think that if anything, that's something that has been needing a lot more attention and stuff. So I find myself needing to take a lot more breaks and everything after the whole and working on what is the question, like, because the season is almost over for Zombie Chronicles, and the 60 days was up, and all of these things. So I was like, well, there's not really that much to edit anymore. There's not really, I shouldn't be working this hard. Like, it doesn't matter anymore. I was just finding myself putting things together and not actually exporting. It was just weird.
We don't have too much time.
All right. Tiirous, you want to go with the first one?
First question, and I think I know the answer from you two, Joe and Treasa, but the question goes, what are your favorite shows right now?
Oh,
Okay.
no, I think I'm going to
Gosh.
surprise you.
I'm going to surprise
Really?
you too. It's not going to be the answer you expect.
Okay, so it's not Survivor for both of them.
It's Lost. No, just kidding.
So
Never.
we'll start with Mora. Mora, what's your show right now?
It will always and forever be Euphoria. And I just finished watching Big Little Lies, and sadly, it's over. It's over forever. But,
I'm sorry for that season 2. Oof.
You saw season 2?
Yeah,
You
what a
saw it?
disappointment.
What? What do you say? I liked it. What do
Oh.
you mean?
Don't
Okay.
give spoilers.
You didn't.
I guess.
Don't give spoilers.
I love season 1, but season 2 was. I don't know
Okay.
what happened. I don't know what happened and why any of it happened.
I can agree with that. I did think that by the time I was finished, I really thought there was going to be another episode. It was sort of like one of those things where I felt like the season could have been wrapped up in 3 episodes, and then the rest of you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I liked that it happened because I liked the dynamic that was brought on screen and everything.
I think the characters are nice, but I just didn't. I didn't feel like it brought enough to the story to make like how impactful season 1 was.
Hey,
Didn't bring
Yeah.
that in season 2.
sorry to interrupt. Since we're talking
I can
about
agree
it,
with that.
I still have no clue what it's about. Can you set the scene or kind of just give us a gist of what?
Big Little Lies is about?
Yes.
So Big Little Lies is based off of the premise that somebody died, and you're sort of like struggling with each sort of character figuring out who did. And it's sort of like one of those things of like a whodunit sort of vibe for season 1. For season 2, you know who died, and then you're figuring out, I can't really say because I feel like it would be a giant spoiler. So, but season 1, it is very interesting. I got
Season
my mom
1 is
hooked
fantastic.
immediately. Season 1 is like addicting, to where I started watching it again. And I started watching it when my mom was
Same.
watching it. So that's like the third time.
Yeah, I watched season 1 twice.
So
Immediately after I watched it. Joe, what's your
Find
show?
yourself
My show right now is I just finished Solar Opposites, which is like a fun animated show that's made by one of the co-creators of Rick and Morty and a writer that wrote on Community and wrote the Jumanji movie. It's a really interesting, fun comedy. It's very similar to Rick and Morty in a way, but very fun. About a bunch of aliens that come to Earth and have to try to deal with trying to live on Earth.
How about you,
Wait,
Trace?
have you guys
Sorry about that.
seen that show Upload?
So yeah, on the topic of what my favorite show at the moment is, I'm gonna say one of them is definitely Upload, which is the new Prime show, right? Exclusive to Prime. And
Yeah.
it's about kind of like monetizing the afterlife kind of situation. And I think it's funny in like not an obvious way. And it touches on like topics that are really current in society. And it's just interesting. I really liked it. I was surprised I liked it because when I like seen the trailer, it was kind of like, is this show gonna be like really, yeah, is it gonna be just cheesy? I really liked it. Did you seen it too, Mora?
Yeah, it was really good. I think it really like does dark comedy in a different way because you're essentially laughing and these people are dead. And but also how there's just a small little thing if you're thinking about watching it is how the afterlife connects to life. You know what I mean? So like that entire aspect is so interesting and sort of these ideas that we're battling with now, like you said, Treasa, these ideas like of social media and dating, online dating and everything. And it just gets, there's this whole dynamic of that of like,
it's twisted into the afterlife. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like
you
can all intertwined.
Yeah. It's bringing like the modern age into the afterlife and like kind of like it's also bringing up the idea of rich versus poor and like where do you fall on the spectrum and like is everyone allowed to have the same thing at the end of the day or are some people traditionalists because they're forced to be? It's very there's a lot of like underlying themes in the show, which when you see the trailer, you're like on the surface, it's like, oh, this is like just some cheesy like Prime show. No, it has like a lot of layers and I thought it was definitely worth a watch. So I watched it within like 2 days. So I would say definitely recommend it. What about you, Tiirous? Do you ever watch TV?
My favorite show, it's not right now, but I'm watching tiny bits of it right now, is actually Martin and Mora.
Classic.
You might know that show. It is like it is just
I don't know what it is at all.
All right.
Neither do I.
Martin Lawrence, younger version, maybe 19...
Is it 80s or 90s?
1980s.
1980s,
yeah. To the 90s.
The height of Martin Lawrence, I think,
1980s to the 90s. Yeah, kind of the height of him or him going to his peak, towards his peak.
Yeah, just before his peak, before he like had a meltdown.
It's comedy, it's
a sitcom.
It's just...
Is it about a boy's life? What is?
No, Martin is actually a skit writer. Not a skit writer, but what are those people that makes the... Help me out here. The writers? No.
Screenplay?
No, not screenplay.
Like sketch writer?
Not the commercials. What are they called? They do like the jingle. He's a jingle writer.
Oh.
You know, those that era had jingles in the commercials. He's a jingle writer, and it just goes from the people in his neighborhood, his friends, his girlfriend's best friend, which is the bane of his existence. The randomness, there's parts of it where like he plays himself and this famous role called Shanae. And like, it's just a lot of comedy, and a lot of 80s, 90s, somewhat 2000 comedies in it. It's just, I liked it so much that I was like, okay, let me watch bits of it again.
Nice.
It's a classic 80s sitcom.
Okay.
It's
a fun watch.
Where can we find this? YouTube or what?
Anywhere. YouTube, BET, Hulu should have it. Hulu should have it. I don't know if Netflix has it.
I don't think it's on Netflix.
Usually, if it's on Hulu, it's not on Netflix.
Yeah, it's separate.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime should have it because it's an old show. But I
You
just
can buy it.
I recommend just going to YouTube and just putting Martin episode 17 and
Is
just
that
like
actually a good episode, or did you randomly pick that?
Right. Like you just
that's
pulled a
one of the-
random episode.
now I think that's a good episode. I'm not
Oh,
sure
okay.
if it's the one I recently watched, but I think it's a good episode. So check it out. Definitely check it out.
All right, sounds good. We're all
right, next
checking it out.
question.
Before we move on, I just want to throw this out. If you guys have never heard of Catherine on YouTube, check it out. That's all I want to say. Just look up Catherine on YouTube and with Jenny Slate and watch it.
All
I
right.
feel like I feel like there's a Spotify playlist called that. That's so weird. And it just popped up no, never mind, it's Caroline. Forget it.
No, yeah. No, there's a show called Catherine and on YouTube and it's starring Jenny Slate and it's incredible. Highly suggest. I wouldn't say anything more.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Let's move on to the next question. All right. What's a good song to listen to right now? Treasa, what song's going on in your head?
Oh no, you're putting me on the spot. I'm really blank.
Come on,
I
you gotta
would
have
say-
something.
I would say go check out Tyrus's new song. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's Haiti in Creole. I don't know.
Ayiti.
IET.
This song,
I do know how to say it, but like I forget. I'm sorry.
this song
but
is
check
a
it
big
out.
success.
I really like it. It sounds really pretty, but it's not.
That song is a big success because the video work, the editing, the hours spent on this video due to Monday, which is Treasa. Like from what we recorded to what came out of it to the transitions, everything, literally play it on your TV or on YouTube and it will look like the best person made it. It looks so professional.
All right, keep high-fiving each other. All right, let's move on. Mora, what song's going on? What's going on in your head? What song do you keep hearing?
The song that is stuck in my head right now is Think About You by Kyga. It's like Kyga. And the way that I found out about that song was this artist called Sarah Baba put out this music video for Kyga. And it stars Dylan Sprouse and his girlfriend and everything. And it's very it's a very interesting video because Sarah Baba is a photographer.
Sarah
and,
Baba.
And it's very much in that style and everything. And it has her signature thing is taking a photo of a scene. She'll essentially like set up a scene like a movie, but it's a still. And she'll put a subtitle in every photo. There's a subtitle, even if it's like says nothing in return or something like that, or say something super poetic or something that is so in your face, like some weird things. But yeah, it stands out, and that song is really stuck in my head. I heard it a couple years ago, and it's been stuck in my head ever since. And I just rediscovered it today, and I was like, "Oh,
Nice.
damn it!"
All right, we'll have to check that out. Tyrus.
My song right now, there's two, but just narrow it down, right? My favorite song right now is called Broke in a Minute. It's by this artist called Tory Lanez, and it's basically talking about how he came from literally like a few years ago. He was working at Wendy's or Denny's, I think, and like how now he has the wealth, the success, and how much hard work he put in it. And usually he's a singer, songwriter, but like he's so talented that he's rapping throughout the whole thing. And he's been a ghostwriter for so much people over the years that nobody knows about. And this song really like personifies the idea that, okay, you hear this now. That was my song 10 years. That was my song 5 years ago that I wrote for somebody that sounds like this. You guys gotta check it out. Minute.
Cool.
What was
And how
that
about
song called
Joan?
again?
Broke in a Minute.
Broken
Broken
Minute.
Minute.
All right, let's check that out. I guess my suggestion would be Clueless by the Marias. Highly suggest. Really fun. I think all their music's pretty great. That's kind of like the highlight one that I think I discovered them with. So that's all I'll say. Check it out. It's fun.
Nice. And what's the next question?
All right. Last question. We'll wrap this up. All right. We got one last question. Who would survive the apocalypse?
Oh, I love questions like that.
Who gave this question?
Wow.
I'm sure.
Anonymously, sir.
Anonymously, it seems like. I'll just go off first and just say I would not.
You don't think that you would survive? I think you would survive.
I
think
would
you'd
not.
be the radio guy.
No. This
You'd be
instant.
the guy. No. You would be the guy who is like, so this live podcast. But it would literally be surviving.
You are misreading this whole scenario. I see things start to happen, and I know my way to exit. All right, that's all I'll say.
You would definitely hide out. Like one of those really tall towers.
I would be
like
falling from one of those tall
broadcasting
towers very quickly.
Oh my God.
Yes.
No faith in yourself.
I'm not dealing with that. People are the real monsters in the apocalypse, and I don't want anything to do with it. All right, that's all I got to say about the apocalypse.
So just exit out. So
Damn.
it's between Treasa, Mora, and I now, since Joe just exited.
Oh, only one of us survives?
Who would survive out of all four of us?
Oh, only one of us.
So, Mora, why do you think you'd survive?
I never thought I mean, okay, but hold on. All right. See, I've thought about this day. I've thought about the apocalypse, right? So I don't know if I would survive long. But I do think that I would survive long enough.
Well,
We lost you.
We lost her. So she does not survive, unfortunately. Wow. Really
Mora,
sad.
we lost you.
She didn't survive.
Did you see her?
She didn't survive the podcast.
She didn't survive the podcast. She definitely didn't survive in the apocalypse. All right, it's down to 2. Treasa versus Tiirous.
Can't hear you. All right, so it's me versus Tiirous. She'll come back later. We'll get her finishing notes. Tiirous, what do you think?
I don't know how long. Like Mora was saying before, she didn't survive and got cut off.
All right, well, that doesn't sound like you're surviving the park. If you have to say
Sorry,
how
you
long.
got cut off, Mora, so we only heard part of it, which means you died in the apocalypse. So you're out.
I think out of the 4 of us,
Terrifying.
I was going to say Joe, but since Joe killed himself off, and I guess I think I'm going to survive that. Because honestly, I think I know I have what it takes to like do the unthinkable things to survive.
But you didn't keep in
Could you make a
consideration
fire,
me.
Tiirous?
Yes.
Could you make a fire?
Yes, sir. And I've killed animals before.
I think I would last a little bit longer than Mora, at least, and Joe, because I don't know, because he's killing random things, so I don't know. But I could survive. I would survive a lot of people because I have a lot of non-perishable goods, and I could hide underneath my bed with them.
You know what? I actually don't disagree. I don't think it's because of your perishable goods, though, or non-perishables. I think, honestly, it's that you don't really thrive on social contact. And so I feel like you would stay away from people, and, the sight of someone, it doesn't even matter if there's someone holding a baby. I feel like you would I feel like you better stay back. Abort mission. Like, I will kill you.
Return to the closet.
Right.
Okay. I think Treasa would survive. I'll survive me because Mora has a point. Treasa could stay in her house and just be like unknowingly like don't care. Or like everybody's just going about their craziness, expecting people to like run out the house and go to their families. And Treasa would just be like, in the house, sewing, in the house, cleaning, in the house, tuna, in the house, survival podcast, in the house, binge watch a whole season on Amazon. 3 years from there, you're like, did somebody live here? And she comes out like just long hair to her legs, just unshaved, and be like, I survived.
Let's be real. She would absolutely cut her hair.
For sure. How many times have I cut my own hair? This is actually insane how long my hair is right now. Because usually if I have like a breakdown, I'm like, cut it all off, start over, go to the hair salon. Yeah, I started this. I need someone to finish it up.
I feel like you would make, Treasa, I feel like you would make your house like indestructible. You'd be like, all right, how do I protect myself? I don't need to leave because I have a bunch of unperishables or non-perishables in the basement, gonna last for a few years.
We're not going to the basement. I live in an apartment building.
Oh,
yeah, not leaving the gut.
We're going to the cupboard.
Not leaving the door.
Right.
We don't trust the people in this building.
Yep.
Survivor mode. Just don't go outside.
Yep. So, all right. Well, it seems like Treasa's the winner. All right. Well,
yeah.
I don't even know if you're really winning anything because it sounds horrible. All right.
All right.
Just so ready to escape that.
I'm not dealing with that. That sounds awful. All right. So I guess that's going to be it for the Walking Produce weekend update. This was the May recap. Till next week.
Till
Bye,
next week, guys.
guys. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Friday and Saturday and Sunday. It's a week.